North Central Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher joins us now. Clark, thanks for dropping by.
Good to be here.
We start with another team in the postseason in the week that was. Cardinal softball streaked to the conference championship a couple weekends ago, head up to the regional. The offense was the thing that had been working for them, but they really struggled to put some runs on the board.
Yeah, two very defensive-oriented games that they ended up coming out losing in a narrow margin to a couple of pretty tough teams with good defense and good pitching. Had a couple issues with the infield. It's been an issue all season long, the defense in the infield, and it came back to bite them again in the postseason, as it's apt to do when you're up against the top competition.
And we look at that roster, you know, a big group of seniors on that squad. We covered it when they were in here last week, but they're losing a lot of heavy hitters that have some pages on the record books.
Yeah, between Laura Whitfield and Lauren Schramm are two of the top power hitters in the program's history. And, you know, Aaron Drennan in center field, who was the leadoff hitter and a real catalyst at the top of the order. It's going to be a lot of work to do to get the not only the roster filled out, but capable players to fill out some of those positions and get them back to where they're used to being.
At the same time, we do have a couple of young freshmen that played admirably this year in Vlasta Manja, Colleen Drennan make up a very young battery that should be good here for a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, Vlasta was a big help in both pitching and in the offensive part of the lineup, which was a huge boost. Not too many pitchers are as good at on the offensive side as she was, and Colleen, to have somebody at the catcher position that you can have there and just kind of rely on for 4 years is a huge bonus as well. Another player at second base, Taylor Ryan, stepped in at the middle of the season on and really helped out, and for a while there they would put the designated hitter in her place and not batter in the order, but they wound up putting her in the lineup late in the season, and she was able to produce pretty well, so that's another big bonus there.
For sure. The Cardinal baseball team was also in a couple dogfights last weekend. In the midst of the conference tournament, they took on North Park. Let's go to the highlight. North Central Baseball in Bloomington trying to keep its season alive in an elimination game against North Park. Vikings Steve Kolagowski started off strong, retiring the first 9 Cardinals he faced. But in the fourth, up 2-0, he ran into some trouble. With 2 on, Brennan Hagginsy's chopper to third looks like an easy out, but he gets some help on the Zach Berryman throwing error. That scores a run, NCC down 2-1. Nick Daniels up next. Apparently the advice from Coach Fitzgerald helped in a big way. The double in the gap scores Matt Burke. Hagginsy's got his racing shoes on, chugging all the way around from first. Cardinals grab a 1-run lead. To the 8th now, same score, Hagginsy at the dish again, and he connects. That's a no-doubter solo shot, his first bomb of 2011. North Park has some work to do going into the 9th. Viking Mike Dominic gets things started with a single. Andy Athens follows in the order, the fly ball to center field just out of the reach of a diving Dan Scott, and Athens takes advantage. Dominic comes all the way around. Athens is on third with an RBI triple, 4-3 Cardinals. Now DH Brad Medina knows all he has to do is get one to the outfield. Warning track power good enough on this at bat. Athens makes his way across the plate, and we're tied at 4. But the Cardinals have some instant offense as well. Alex Corey's line drive makes its way to the outfield safely. After a Dan Scott sack bunt moved Corey to second, Mac Burke gets the intentional pass. Then Viking reliever Merrick McGrady can't find the strike zone, but he finds Matt Abraham's leg for the hit batsman. The bases are chock full for 2010 CCIW Player of the Year and Cardinal catcher Michael Corrigan. Apparently his reputation precedes him. 4 straight balls go to the Cardinal senior, and the Cardinals win in walk-off fashion. Clark, the squad battled to come away with that victory. Another one over Wesleyan, but just kind of ran into a buzzsaw against Carthage.
Yeah, Carthage, being in the winner's bracket, had the advantage in that they didn't have to go as deep into their pitching staff as we did, and it showed definitely on the final day when they were able to go with one of their regular starters, and we kind of had to patch a lineup together, 3 or 4 different guys. So certainly an advantage there. They got up early, and we had to go to the bullpen, and just tough to get going when you have something like that going on.
And you look at this roster, almost the same situation as softball, where you have a group of seniors. Michael Corrigan, obviously the guy that everybody knows about that's going to be leaving, but at the same time, a lot of depth on this roster as well, so you're going to have some young players step up.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that really was unnoticed with this group was how good some of the other players were at those positions. Zach Pakinowski at catcher is a guy who could be a mainstay for the next 3 years. Defensively, very, very good. Still has some things to work on with his hitting. It's kind of that way throughout the lineup, between the infield and the outfield. There's a lot of guys leaving, but there's several very capable players who were able to get some time this year, and then through various things that happen, you have to rotate guys out because of who's playing hot and whatever. And I think they're really well stocked. They've really got a couple of needs they'll need to address in recruiting, but they're looking pretty good.
We move to the court. Mike Patrick's tennis squad, the team prospects are pretty much over after CCIWs, but Sam Sweeting getting some good news, getting another national bid 2 years in a row.
Yeah, he's going to head out to California for the national tournament in singles. He'll be one of 32 guys out there. Really kind of got his initiation last year. I went up against some very good competition. And was knocked out in the second round. So hopefully he'll be able to use that experience and advance a little further this year. And
we come to the point in the track season where team results not nearly as important in this next week and a half, where conference is already over and nationals still a week or two away. But some of those events where you're trying to rack up as many of those qualifiers, a home meet last weekend for both track teams, and plenty of qualifiers to go along with it.
Yeah, several athletes qualifying in new events, not necessarily very many performances that'll get athletes into the championships, but certainly improvements as they move into the last week, this coming weekend in the Gregory Invitational. A little bit of a hangover from conference, a lot of people doing a lot of different events, trying to score a lot of points for the team. Just coming off that the first week, there might be some lingering fatigue there, but definitely should be ready to go this weekend.
For sure. Well, Clark, we appreciate you coming by and dropping some knowledge.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us today. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope to see you next week.